When you think about countries like Denmark, Sweden, or Norway, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's these images of ultimate happiness, equality, a society that's just got it all figured out. But you have to wonder how much of that is real and how much is, well, just a really well-engineered system. Let's pop the hood on the Scandinavian model and see what's really going on.
So yeah, is it some kind of magical utopia that just works? Or is there something more to it? Is it a specific, carefully designed machine with all these interlocking parts and systems that are built to get these results? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to break down the mechanics of that very machine.
Okay, first things first, we've got to clear up a huge misconception. The myth you always hear is that these places are socialist paradises. But the reality? Oh, it's way more interesting than that. It's actually this unique hybrid system that takes a super competitive, market-driven capitalist economy and pairs it with one of the most comprehensive social safety nets on the entire planet.
So let's start at the very beginning, with the foundation, because before we can even get into policies or taxes or any of that, you have to understand the secret ingredient that makes the whole recipe work. And that ingredient is an incredibly high level of social trust.
What do we even mean by social trust? Well, it's this fundamental belief that your neighbors, your coworkers, and, this is a big one, your government are all generally going to do the right thing. It's this built-in expectation that, people will play by the rules and that the system itself will act in everyone's best interest.
And look, this isn't just some vague, fuzzy feeling. It's something you can actually measure. In Scandinavia, something like 75% of the people feel they can trust each other. Now, compare that to the US or the global average. The difference is absolutely staggering.
And that is the absolute key. This trust, it's not just some nice little cultural quirk they have. It's the functional glue. It's what allows millions of people to agree to the very high-stakes social contract we're about to get into. Honestly, without it, the whole thing would probably just fall apart.
All right, so with trust as our foundation, let's step inside the engine room and see how this machine is actually put together. The Nordic model really stands on three core interconnected pillars.
And here they are. Those three pillars are a deep commitment to universal welfare, a pretty unique labor market system they call flex security, and a kind of social agreement that we'll call the high tax compact. Let's dig into each one.
So, pillar number one, universal welfare. The idea here is actually pretty simple, but it's also profound. Essential services, we're talking high-quality healthcare, top-notch education, they aren't seen as commodities you have to buy. No, they're treated as fundamental rights available to every single person, no matter how much money you make.
Now for the second pillar, and it's got this kind of fascinating name, flex security. And just like it sounds, it's a hybrid. It tries to mash together two ideas that, let's be honest, usually seem like they're complete opposites: flexibility and security.
So here's how it works. On one side, you've got flexibility for the companies. Businesses can react to changes in the market because it's pretty easy to hire and, to let workers go. But, and this is the whole point, that flexibility is balanced by incredible security for the employees. If you do lose your job, you get strong unemployment benefits, and you get access to these amazing government-funded programs to retrain you for a totally new career, maybe going from, say, manufacturing to green technology.
This all sounds pretty great, right? Healthcare for everyone, strong benefits if you're out of work, free retraining, which leads us to the very logical, multi-trillion-dollar question. Who's paying for all this? And that brings us right to our third and final pillar, the high tax compact. Now, this isn't just about paying high taxes, it's about a shared deal. Citizens agree that they're going to pay some of the highest taxes in the world, but they do it with the crystal clear expectation that they'll get incredibly high-quality, reliable public services back. It's a two-way street, right? And it only works because of that high social trust we talked about, that belief that the government is going to hold up its end of the bargain. So where does all that tax money actually go? It's not some big secret. As you can see, the vast majority of it gets pumped directly back into the system we've been talking about. It funds social protection, like pensions, it funds that universal healthcare, and it pays for education. People can literally see the return on their investment every day.
Okay, so it's really important to get this straight. This system isn't some flawless utopia, and it's definitely not frozen in time. The social architecture we've just laid out is actually facing some pretty serious stress tests right now.
And these challenges are no joke. The welfare state is getting more and more expensive to run, especially as the population gets older. More retirees means a real strain on pensions and healthcare. On top of that, you've always got the economic pressures of globalization and the real-world complexities of integrating new immigrant populations into such a high-trust society. That can really test the social fabric.
This quote just nails it, I think. The Nordic model was never meant to be some static, perfect thing. It's a living, breathing, dynamic system that has to constantly debate and tweak and adapt just to stay afloat in a changing world.
So we've looked at the foundation, we've peeked inside the engine, and we've seen the modern pressures. So what's the big takeaway from all this? What should you remember?
Well, it's that the Scandinavian model isn't some kind of magic. It's a meticulously balanced social machine. It absolutely requires that foundation of high social trust, and that trust makes it possible to have a deal where people pay high taxes because they know they're getting a system that gives them both economic dynamism and collective security.
And all of that leaves us with one last really big question. Is this incredible machine a blueprint that other countries could just copy and paste? Or is it so deeply woven into the unique history and high-trust culture of Scandinavia that it just can't be exported? Something to think about.